Hi, my name is Aaliyah, and regarding today's question, I believe economic causation most accurately describes why crime occurs. I believe this is so because we can make a correlation between the amount of income someone makes a year and the type of environment they live in, meaning that the lower income you receive, the the more likely you're ended up living in a low income environment where we see more crime occurs. Whereas if you make a high income, you live in a high income environment where where you're being exposed to less crime. In the book on page 48, it reads that fact also explains why in poor black neighborhoods, drug distribution networks employ large numbers of young men at low wages, low wage, labor intensive drug dealing survives, where higher paid legal work is hard to come by. Black crime leads to black imprisonments, which reinforces the low level of economic opportunity in black neighborhoods, which in turn encourages more black crime. I heavily agree with the author writing the statement because I believe it shows how your economic status reflects uh, the amount of crime one engages in. And I feel when you lack lack economic when you lack money, what's it called? You feel you're more limited in experiences, and the more limited you are, I feel you're pushed back into a corner where you feel you have to engage in crime to get out. Such as in these neighborhoods where people live in low income environments, they're surrounded by these crimes that it was hard to get out of, meaning going back to the quote saying that higher paid legal work is hard to come by, so they feel the only way they can survive is by engaging in these drug distributions that going off based off the lecture statistics saying young people commit more crime, and I believe this is also proves why economic causation most accurately describes why crime occurs, because the younger someone is, I feel the less economic fortune they have because they have less life experience and time to make that wealth, along with feeling have to they want something and they don't have the nerve system to tell themselves no, especially if they're surrounded in an environment where everyone is doing the wrong thing, so they feel the wrong thing is okay. I also want to take a look at the homicides by age of offender graph used in the lecture, because I feel like it helps represent again why economic causation best describes why crime occurs, because as we see on the graph, the ages 18 to 24 have the highest crime rates, and I feel this is because they're making that transition from teenager to adulthood where they lack that economic status, where they are being pushed out of their homes and having to start a real life and going back to feel like they're pushed in a corner where they feel they need to engage in crime in order to survive. I also feel the statistic of men engaging in more crime than women aids my case that economic causation it best describes why crime occurs, because in society we put men in a role of being the provider, and they feel the pressure to provide for their families and for their siblings and people they care most about. So again, going back to feeling like they're being pushed in the corner to engage in crime to get out of. And with all that being said, I feel economic colonization most accurately describes why crime occurs, because people feel they're being backed into a corner and they feel engaging. Let me rephrase that. I feel economic causation most accurately describes why crime occurs, because having less money limits what someone can do and provides that feeling that they need to engage in crime to get out of the situation they are in.